Chapter 1045 was so much fun. I'm on vacation right now, so my background is different. The room is probably more echoey, so I'm sorry for that. But I just read 1045 and I'm so excited to talk about it. If you missed it in my last video, I said that I'm going to go ahead and do week-to-week videos just for now, just during this time in the series, because it's so rare to be a part of a fandom during a time like this, where such incredible things are happening and when the hype levels are so high. And I just want to be a part of it. I just want to be a part of the community. I just caught up and I'm just now starting to interact with the community again. I mean, not again at all, just now starting to interact with the community, and this is a once in a lifetime time to be a One Piece fan, and I'm so happy to be here. But anyway, chapter 1045. Got my laptop. I just read it, so now I'm gonna read it again and chat with you. First of all, I just want to say that I'm having so much fun. I said in my last video, if I were to guess what Luffy's form would look like, it wouldn't be this at all. If I were to guess what his awakening would look like, it wouldn't be this. But it's so fun, and this battle was so fun to read. Fight chapters are usually not my favorite chapters. I have a good time with them, but it's not what I read One Piece for. And I had a great time. So first of all, Kaido mentions that Luffy's transformation, his awakening, it acts like an awakened paramecia, like we've believed Luffy was this whole time, but it looks like a zone. It acts like a paramecia, it looks like a zone, which has me wondering, is it also going to have Logia faculties? Is it going to have something about it that seems Logia-esque, which I am so excited about if this is a possibility, if this fruit somehow encompasses all the different types, all the different categories that these fruits can fall under. We know that Blackbeard battle is coming, and I think a lot of us think that Blackbeard battle is the end game. He's the final boss. So we know that Blackbeard has multiple fruits and that he can now act like his fighting style can encompass a lot of different things. If Luffy also has the properties of each category, which I don't think Blackbeard has a zone type fruit, at least that we're aware of, maybe he gets one in the background when we're not looking. I don't know. But it has me excited that Luffy has these different properties too, because that means that in his matchup with Blackbeard, for the first time, we're going to see a 1v1 battle with Devil Fruit users that can do a lot of different things, and that has me so excited. I'm already excited for that fight. I'm so excited for that fight, but this could be the coolest fight. So Kaido, the fool, eats Luffy. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Have you not spent enough time with him by now that you don't want? You should know that this is gonna be a bad idea. So he does, and Luffy is just having a blast. He's just having the best time wreaking havoc inside of Kaido's body, to the point that Yamato is actually asking, does my dad have a form that I'm not aware of? Because he looks so silly, blown up like a balloon. And Luffy, who we know is able to turn things that he touches into rubber if he so chooses, decides to turn Kaido to rubber, not just in how he manipulates his body, but by stretching his hands out of his eyeballs and turning Kaido's eyeballs into rubber and wearing them like gloves and holding his nose. I never thought this would be something that I would experience or read, but here we are. What a time to be alive. So Kaido spits him back out, and we get what is one of my favorite panels in the entire series now, and that's giant Luffy. Luffy blowing himself up. I assume Luffy being able to somehow gigantify himself and threatens to step on Kaido. This panel, I mean, I know that the fandom has been talking about Luffy being able to gigantify himself for a long time, but this panel with the lightning and the clouds and Luffy's incredible design on full display in magnified form, and Kaido just kind of like panicking underneath his foot. This panel, man, that I just had to stop and stare at it for a while when I read it, because it is such an incredible, the sun god under the clouds, lightning striking, ready to step on the Emperor of the Sea. So Kaido bites him and we get a hilarious panel of Luffy's eyes bugging out, and this face is amazing. So what does Luffy do now that he is a gigantic size, just like the most powerful dragon emperor of the sea? He skips rope with him. Luffy skips rope with him. The audacity of this child, the audacity of this boy to skip rope with an emperor of the sea in his dragon form. So Luffy takes full brunt of Kaido's blast breath. He roadrunners back over to him. And okay, so this is one of my favorites too. I have a lot of favorites of this chapter. This is one of my favorites too. Luffy's eyes bugging out in that Toon Eyes way, but then everybody else has Toon Eyes as well. So what do I love about this? Why do I love this so much? Because this is like Conqueror's Haki. This is like the first time we saw Luffy use, or the first several times we saw Luffy use Conqueror's Haki, but we didn't have a name for it yet. We didn't know what it was. But Luffy's power, his presence was so strong that everybody was reacting. Everybody was physically moved by Luffy's power, and we didn't have a word for it. We didn't understand it, but something was happening because Luffy's presence was that powerful. And that's what we're getting here, where Luffy's new form is so powerful, carries so much weight to it, that even people he isn't touching are being affected by his powers. This gag, this silly, weird thing, to me is one of the most exciting things about this chapter, because it's showing how effective Luffy is. It's showing how powerful he is. It's showing how much his presence extends and affects people without him even trying, just like Conqueror's Haki did. But this is his new self. So we get this series of panels of Luffy depleting as he is really losing his energy, and kind of, I still think that he died in chapter 144, was it? When his heartbeat went out, when his voice went out. I still think that he died. And in this instance, he's kind of going back into that state. He's losing his life once again. His voice is starting to snuff out. His heartbeat is starting to die. And again, this is one of my favorite parts of the chapter, when Luffy starts calling out the names of the people that he's fighting for, the people that are motivating him to carry on. Momo, Tama, Kinemon, Pedro. And he actually tells his heartbeat to pick back up. Come on, heart, hit that beat. And the drums start again. And then he jumps up and celebrates and says, yeah, that's the sound. Oh my goodness. He is losing his life. He's depleting again. He's falling again back to the same state that he was in, where his voice is fading and his heartbeat is dying. And he, by the names of the people he's fighting for, wills his heart to start beating strongly again. The power of this man, it hits me right in the chest. There's so many things about this fight scenes that usually go by so fast, that made me stop and go, oh my goodness, we're doing something big here. And then he gets hit in the face with the hammer thing, and his face goes all spiky, and then he goes running off with his spikified and flattened face. And I just feel like this entire chapter, I can hear the soundtrack in my head that goes with it. And it's not your typical fight music, and I love it. So then he turns into a Tasmanian devil. He starts doing his flying punches. We learn that he's using armament haki and haki of the Supreme King, and that he's completely white. His form is white, which I wonder, is that the Logia side? If there are Logia properties here, if it's not just the two, then is him being white part of that? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But he again rubberfies Kaido's face and punches his face, and again wears his face like a glove as he's punching through him, not through because he's rubber. And Kaido takes a fall, and then we get Luffy. Isn't this fun, Kaido? Yes, it is. Oh man, what a chapter. I'm having the time of my life. Oda is having the time of his life. You just know Oda's having a blast writing this chapter. And I am too. I mean, obviously Kaido's not done. Obviously Kaido's gonna get back up. We're gonna keep fighting, but I don't think that this is gonna be a long fight. I don't think that we're gonna have, 20, 30 chapters of a big epic fight scene. I don't think that this is the kind of fight that you would expect from the boss of this level, from the most powerful emperor of the sea, which admittedly we've been fighting him for a long time, but this is like the final countdown, right? At least I think it is. I think it is. And I think we're at the end of it. I really do think that Kaido will get back up, we'll fight for a few more chapters, and then I obviously I think Luffy's gonna come out the victor. And I'm just excited to see it. This is like a new era of One Piece. I called it on my Discord, I called it New Piece, because I just feel like this is what we're doing now. One Piece has changed. And I'm so excited for it. And I can understand, I wanna say this, I can understand if you've been reading this chapter week to week for, 10, 15, 20 years, I can understand why this would probably feel very, very jarring. But from my perspective, as someone who just started this series just a little bit over a year ago, this series is already absurd. The series is already completely outlandish, and I'm regularly reading things where I have a hard time going with the flow, where my reaction is, too far, Oda, that's too weird, that doesn't make sense. If you do that, then that means this, and that means this, and that means this. And I had to dial it back a second and just be like, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right. And I've had a few instances like that in this series where Oda pushes me a little bit too far, and I have to remember what series I'm reading. I'm reading a very wacky series. It's emotionally deep. It's vast. It's a fantasy epic. It's brilliantly executed. There's so many seeds that get laid that don't get payoff till forever away. The themes are so rich and deep. There's so much about this story that makes it literary. There's so much about One Piece that makes it among the best in fantasy. And yet, it's a weird series. It's wacky. It's loony already. And all Oda's done is elevate that. All he's done is take it to the next level with a certain kind of brand. It looks like Looney Tunes, but this series was already loony. He's just taking it another step. And as someone who has been adjusting to the wackiness of this series for a year now, this feels like, yeah, we're already weird here. Why not? But if you've gotten really used to the wackiness of One Piece and then we do this level up in wackiness, I can understand why it would feel very, very jarring. To me, it does feel jarring, but it also feels like, sure, we're already weird. And with that, I feel like the new form does really encompass a lot of what One Piece is, the freedom of being able to do whatever you want with this fruit, and the silliness that comes with it. Luffy, what was the line that he said? It was when he was quoting Bink Sake, when he said, once we're dead, the only thing that's left is bones. Right before that, Kaido told him, you're gonna be a legend. He said, you're gonna die, but you have my assurances. After you die, someone will tell the tale of your great battle. And Luffy says, I don't need any of that. That's another one of my favorite parts of this chapter. He says, I don't need any of that. And that's so in line with Luffy, because he doesn't care about being a legend. He doesn't care about having his name written in the stars. He cares about living. And in One Piece, in one of the most iconic lines of One Piece, you don't truly die until you're forgotten. Luffy says, no, I don't care about that. I don't care about my name being remembered. I care about living. I care about life. I care about right now. And this fruit giving him the ability to live to his fullest, this fruit giving him the ability to have complete freedom to do whatever he can imagine, which is what the rubber fruit already, which is what the Gomu Gomu no Mi was already doing for him, but this just takes it to another level. Luffy's value is in living. Luffy's value is in life, and Luffy's value is in enjoying life to the fullest. And this fruit being encompassed by joy and fun, does that not fit Luffy? I don't know, it's a turn that I wasn't expecting. It's a turn that I never would have called, but it's a turn that while it does feel jarring, it does fit to me. And honestly, Oda's just having a good time, you know? He's just having a great time drawing this. And I'm having a great time reading it because I know that while Oda is just having fun, eventually, really soon, he's gonna bring it down and he's going to explain it and he's gonna make it make sense. He's gonna make it fit. He's going to answer all of our questions. So right now, I'm just along for the ride. Right now, I'm just enjoying it with him. Anyway, I wanna keep this one short because I wanna get to the beach where my family is right now. So that was 1045. I'm having the time of my life. So is Luffy, so is Oda. And I'm just along for the ride because I know that Oda will explain it. But please chat with me some more in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this chapter and anything that happened in it. I am week to week for now. I will eventually go back to what my original plan was, but right now I'm just enjoying being a part of this really, really exciting time. So I post videos every Monday and Friday. Mondays are my One Piece days. I'll see you again soon. Bye.